Hey, what's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? The Lawyer Henderson Show. Hey, come on into the circle. Come on into the circle. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? We're on Instagram, and I'm letting them know right now we're on YouTube. I'm letting them know right now we are on Instagram and YouTube. And basically, let me let them know we're on Facebook. Let me tell them on Twitter. Number to call in is 516-418-5867. 516-418-5867. So let's talk about what we're going to be talking about tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, you know, why black people ain't showing up at the polls. You know, the white media, they up there saying, oh, black folks is, they ready, they're hyped, they're spiked up, they're going to the polls and stuff like that. And we'll talk about that. And then also, we'll talk about the Ice Cube thing. We're still talking about his backlash from celebrities and how he's getting this backlash, if you will, from certain types of celebrities like D.L. Hughley. I think he went on Fox Soul with Claudia Jordan and some other black females, and they started, man, we black women ain't included in it in the contract with Black America, and you know, by buying into this gender divide again. And also, of course, we're going to be talking about Tyler Perry over his passing out Kroger cards and basically allowing the Atlanta police to do this last July. So that is the Lawyer Henderson Show podcast. Let's get us started. The number to call in is 516-418-5867. You're welcome to join us tonight. Come on into the circle. Come on in. 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. Don't forget that my book, Foolish American Politics, Let's Discuss the Issues. Now, the description, as you go to like eBay and all the description, don't worry, they're trying to change the description because, they were rushing and some editing stuff started getting, some information, they didn't basically put the right description that I wanted them to put in there. So they will be updating that. So just basically bear with us. But the book, Foolish American Politics, Let's Discuss the Issues, is out now. It's been out since last year. So around this time. But ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and buy your copy, or you can call me up here right now, 516-418-5867 to get a copy of Foolish American Politics. Let's discuss the issues. Thank you for joining the Lawyer Henderson Show. We're taking your calls tonight, and today we're going to also give you some feedback on what's going on in the Black media. That's always, important. But to get us started on our first topic about Black people voting at the polls, I want to show you all something here. Let's show it. Absolutely. Right. Okay, so she said that that was Mother Mays in Alabama. Mother Mays in Alabama was spitting some fire, and you see why when they said that she had to get security cameras up and stuff like that. But Mother Mays said this back in 2016, and yet you had 90% of black women going out to the polls and voting for Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton's ideal of getting you to the polls, remember, was the hot sauce thing. Like, I carry around hot sauce in my pocket, stuff like that. Um, this is the game that we basically have been always falling for. Folks, we've been falling for this game for years. And Mother Mays is correct. We gotta team that we gotta stop voting. And I was like, man, we didn't know that they were doing, that they said that. Like I said, 90% of black women voted and with for Hillary Clinton, and black men most of the time we stayed home. You see, and so here's the thing: the white media is saying that um, that everybody's coming out to the polls, fine, fine, whatever. But I only got like right here it's showing 39 million. That number may have changed, but 39 million, I guess, here. People have fallen. Of course, black folks have fallen through the roof. I guess they have basically, um, you know, thinking that this is going to be the most important. People saying this is going to be the most important election, as they always do. Okay, as they always do, is say, hey, go ahead and go out there to the polls and stuff like that. All right, the number to call in is 516-418-5867, 516-418-5867. We're also going to be talking about Ice Cube contract with Black America. He's getting a lot of backlash on that from celebrities, black celebrities. And movie mogul Tyler Perry passing out his Kroger card gifts back in 2000. Oh, no, not back in 2000, but back in July of this year. So, yeah, keep it here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a music break here. All right, 516-418-5867 is the number to call. Now, we had, you see, these numbers are kind of conflicting, okay? Kind of conflicting here. but that's okay. I want to read to you some report on this back in when was this? June. Excuse me. They reported on this back in June. It said that African American voters could turn ties in 2020 presidential election. Okay. Now, folks, no matter who is voting, okay, no matter who is voting, they are only foolishly voting for the popular vote. Okay. The Electoral College already has decided who's going to win the presidency. So, regardless of if you go out to the polls, now my little brother is saying that 58 million 58 million people have already voted. So, 58 million people have already voted. I had the numbers at 39 million, I think 2 or 3 days ago. But regardless of that, let's say that that's the number. We have, like I told you, 311 million people in the United States. This is the lowest turnout. Now we still got until Tuesday, next Tuesday. But so far, I only seen almost a half, like what? We only had like what? That's not even over the threshold that we saw in previous presidential elections here. But I want to read an article here in Tallahassee, Florida, when they talked there about the African American vote. They said from Georgia to Florida, the African American vote has a lot of power this year, especially in the race to the White House. See, they say this all the time to get us hyped up, knowing that we don't pick the president at all. Okay. But this is basically just trying to get us to the polls here. Education, battle roads, housing, healthcare, the economy, and jobs. The power of the black vote and what issues matter the most to the African American community is more consequential than ever in 2020. Okay? See, this is the same game that they run on us every 4 years when we elect the president. This is this is the most important voting, the most important election of the year. We got to go to the polls and we got to do this or whatever. When it comes to taking on issues that impact the African American communities, some of those big conversations often happens in places like Fade Barbershop in Tallahassee. For African Americans, barbershops are places to bond while discussing social issues. It's a place where owner Marlon Williams and his client were talking about what's most important to them. We need to make sure that we can put people back to work and keep them employed, said Williams. So more jobs we can have would definitely help the black community. Now let's stop right there. See, in 2016, we told you that most black men stayed home. Okay? Hillary Clinton got 90% of the black vote, but she still lost Trump against Trump. Now let's keep that in mind. Okay? So here's that majority. You had white people white women specifically, who went for Donald Trump. You got black women going for Hillary Clinton at 90%. So this is what we're saying here. Look at the numbers. So it doesn't matter how many African American females that vote, without the black men and the young generation, it still might go to Donald Trump. Now, here's the thing that is interesting here of this article. It says if the turnout increases, African American voters have a lot of weight this year, especially in the state like Florida. Florida is a swing state, and it doesn't take much of a chance anywhere to affect what happens in Florida, says Mark Early, the Leon County Supervisors of Election, and that and that can have national implications. Right now in Leon County, there is 62,077 registered black voters, which make up 28% of the voters in the county. The question remains, after a year of decline, will black voters show up this time around? You see, even after they've already admitted that there was some black folks that came out, the point of the article is that it was not it was not a turnout like Obama did in 2009 and then again in 2012 when he ran again for reelection. In other words, Obama couldn't deliver Hillary Clinton where the black folks, what we did as black people, because black men and the black youth and black women came out and overwhelmingly voted for Obama, you see. So it is shaken to see that even if Florida and all these other places of your swing vote, we're going to be shocked to see Trump still being reelected here. We're going to be here looking at that because that's very, very understanding. You see, I also want to talk about in 2016, while we're on the presidential election, how they also was saying back in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, it says black people who didn't vote let us down too. So they saying now that we let them down after we got people who they said was already at the polls voting like it was a large numbers. Then it came back and said that black people were the one that let let them down. Okay, it says if we criticize the way white people voted, we must rip those who didn't vote at all. They're talking about black men here. And this article was back in 2016 in December. President-elect Donald Trump at the Grand Rapids, Michigan, post-election rally on December 9th thanked black voters. Okay, he thanked them. He said, "Thank you to black voters who did not vote." The African American community was great to us, he said. If they had a doubt they didn't vote, and he continued that it was almost as good as compared with white voters who many, including myself, harshly criticized for how they voted. Now, this is how they voted. This is Trump talking. Black non-voters have weathered little castigation. Yet, if we malign whites for ignoring the concern of people of color when they enter the voting booths, must we also censor people? And I specifically want to talk about black folks here who ignored those same concerns by choosing not to enter that booth at all. Now, this story is by Brando Samia Starkey. Now, he was upset when he wrote this article talking about it was black men's fault that Hillary Clinton lost the election back in 2016. He goes on to say that Trump's recent remarks led to me to call a New York Times dispatch published a couple of weeks after the election. Reporter Sabrina Tarvinas interviewed various of black men and women in a black Milwaukee neighborhood, many of whom chose not to vote in a state that has narrowly awarded its 10 electoral votes to Trump. The reporter described as a local that mirrors a lot of such places across the country, and where both majority party candidates left black voters excited, and where political delusionment festers, much like the vacant and the boarded up homes seemingly on every blocks. Okay, so you get that? So in Wisconsin, they're saying there specifically that the 10 electoral votes that Trump has gotten back in 2016, they might swing his way again And because there are going to be some people who are going to have that same attitude that the Wisconsin has not changed in a sense, then they basically is going to not show up at the polls. Okay. And so they're talking about Milwaukee. And I think see, because when I was, I just came back from doing some errands, and I was looking at the polls, and I don't know if it's COVID or whatever. And I know it's we don't basically, we still have to wait till November the 3rd. But folks, I'm looking at the polls. It is not exciting. It is not. People are not saying, "Hey, I just came back from election." People are not wearing, "Hey, I just voted." Okay, you may have a few here and there, but it seems like it's dead, man. Okay, and if they are voting, basically most of them, of course, is doing it through mail-in ballots. Okay, but it doesn't seem like this is something that people want to basically. I mean, it's no enthusiasm there. Is what I'm trying to say. But we're gonna watch, of course, we're gonna watch that. We're gonna keep that going, and hopefully, you know, that we hear some more about how people have voted and their mail-in ballots. Because, like I said, it's not going to be decided on November 3rd. You got about 2 days, probably after that, before they declare Trump got reelected again. Okay. Now, moving right along from voting to Ice Cube's contract with Black America. And we're going to be talking about this because some celebrities had called out Cube. And he goes on, and we went through his contract already, um, but he goes on Fox Soul and talked to Vivica Fox and Claudia Jordan. I, um, I forget the other girl's name is, but he goes and talked to them. And then he had, what's this? What was her name? I think it was Lisa Ray that had the damn purple hair, looking like a damn clown. But he goes to the show, and they asked him, you know, what's in it for Black women. And then he said and I'm just paraphrasing, but he said, "Isn't Black women a part of the Black race? I mean, isn't they Black people?" And the issues here is that you have a lot of these Black celebrities, both men and women in the Black celebrity community, that likes to hold on to that gender divide situation. And that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to, and they came off saying, "Well, Black women have specific needs." Okay. All right. Well, we talked there about wealth gap and talk about money, and you're talking about trying to close the wealth gap as he described, Ice Cube described, is simply a contract to try to close the wealth gap. Which I looked at the bill, the information. I don't think it will get us there, but this is a start, and I don't think that the Democrats or Republicans are really serious about closing the wealth gap. And as far as they're concerned, they want to keep us in the same position because it benefits them. But anyway, Claudia Jordan is, her thinking pattern is off, and that's probably one of the reasons why Fox Soul. You can always get Fox or these major television stations. They will always be happy to get these Black people who are pretty much off top, off code. Let's just say that. You got your Candace Owens, and then you got your for your Republicans, you got your Candace Owens, you got your Larry Elders, you got your Jesse Lee Petersons. Then on the right arm of white supremacy, of course, you got people like D.L. Hughley, who is a comedian, but he is D.L. Hughley has been riding the Democratic train for a while, for a long time. He didn't criticize um, Steve Harvey for meeting with Donald Trump. Remember, Steve Harvey met with Donald Trump too, you know. But of course, it wasn't no contract with Black America. I think Steve Harvey wanted to meet with him for his own selfish reasons, as Steve Harvey does. And so D.L. Hughley says that, oh, you're going to get the guy who makes the Friday movies. You're going to meet with him, trying to do some photo op. Now, D.L. Hughley, I mean, if he wouldn't have said it like that, it would have been okay. But I think because his podcast and he's not getting to work right now because of COVID, he has to do what we do, and that's set up a podcast and try to talk to the new voices of Black media or the grassroots. But if you look at this, you see the ideal here. You see the problem that I have with D.L. Hughley talking about Ice Cube like that. Now, Ice Cube, yes, he's not perfect. He got a lot of things that he done, and that basically, what I'm saying, that was not really, in the past, he was just off code. Let's just say that. But what we have to understand is that people basically know that they're going to try to trick us again. See, this is how they played games with the older civil rights generation. See, the older civil rights generation, they wasn't on them like we are. They wasn't talking about police reform until we went out in the streets. And so the older civil rights generation, they were like agreeing to get hit in their head. We're saying the hell with that. But Ice Cube was attacked. And of course, he was on CNN talking to Chris Como, and Chris Como basically, it was, Ice Cube called him out for being misleading. He called them out for, doing some things, because the white media, they are always misleading. Their job is to make sure that they confuse us in the Black community. And that's the reason then why we are not a part of their system. We don't want to be a part of their system. But on Ice Cube's plan, he has 13 bulletins, and he said that he had worked with Derek Hamilton, and he has also worked with Dr. Claude Anderson with his contract with Black America. And so he was getting a lot of criticism from, Vivica Fox and I won't say, Vivica Fox and Claudia Jordan and, the Black female celebrities that the white media has basically gave some small airtime and did some small movies here and there. And now they put it, they went on Fox Soul, and Fox Soul gave them kind of like a TV show where they can talk to us about our problems. Now, mind you, the white media has done this before, and that's our problem. You see, we keep on buying in the same old trap. We keep on buying the same old shenanigans. And that's the reason why Black people are still on the bottom of every political, social, and economic angle. Because we basically do not know how to remove ourselves away from all of this crap and all of these idiotic, pointless, and the things that deviates us away from the actual issues at hand. And so, people get caught up in this, and it becomes all about them. Okay. And Dr. Claude Anderson has been talking to us about certain types of plans that will help the Black community. But I think we have to also watch out when Black celebrities enter into it. We have to also watch out when the black pastors enter into it. We have to watch out when certain types of black folks who've already got their money from white society, but then has also in the past has told us that, oh, we need to go out there and go to school and get a job and all that old crap. And now, so that's why we have to be very cautious as to what celebrities come in to speak for the grassroots. And I think Ice Cube has his badge. He has his honor to do that because he was the first one to say F the police. But the ideal here is that we have to be very careful as well, that we don't get caught up into the same thing and that the plan for Black America dies out. Now, they were upset because Ice Cube met with the Trump administration. The Democrats said that we had to wait after the election. And D.L. Hughley decided that he is going to say, well, you know the reason why they can't make no promises? Because they're not in power now. No. D.L., stop being a fool. Stop being a dummy. That's what campaigns is about. I'm going to do this. I have a plan. I have a plan for Black America. I have a plan for get a Black agenda. If I win, here is my plan. You see? And that's the problem. We have Black celebrities who is speaking and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Now, Tone Talks, Antonio Moore and Ice Cube had their, he came on Tone Talks and they dealt with policy. They dealt with all kinds of things that basically to at least get policy set. But if you look through the contract with Black America, it's been altered a little bit time since I've read it like a month or so ago. But we have to look at reparations as being the ultimate goal regardless. I know people are saying, oh, well, they're not going to get that to us. Who cares? That's not the point. They also said that we're not going to then get out of slavery, okay? And we're out of that, but our minds are still enslaved, of course, okay? But this whole thing about Ice Cube contract with Black America is a start. I know Dr. Boyd Watkins said that he was impressed to a certain extent on the contract. But Ice Cube basically had said himself that he wants everybody to help with the contract. He basically is everybody can come in and do their part. You see? And I'm glad that he made it that way so that he could basically get everybody's opinion. But you have those people who basically just want to continue that divide. Okay? Continue to separate us, keep us locked up in white mommies and white daddy arm. But when I came on, that Mother Mays from Alabama, she was right. She basically said that we give them all the power, you see, and that has to stop. Okay, but we're still taking your calls 516-418-5867, and let's do our music break here. Yeah. So yes, that. Come on, what's going on with the computer? Yeah, so I want to show you guys what happened here on TMC right quick. Let me do that right quick. Is it gonna play for me? Hold on, y'all. This was before the Republicans had contacted him. But the thing is that he has all these interviews that he's going on, people asking him the question, and now they're trying to turn it into a media frenzy so that the whole game plan get thrown off. Okay, and that's exactly what we don't want. We don't want it to get lost in the circles of things, because if it get lost in the circle of things, then that is going to be it's going to be like what happened in 1960s. They derailed us. They got us off cold. They basically tried this all the time. They did this in the 90s. They did this in the 70s. But in the 60s and 70s, they were just downright hardcore with it. They just came out shooting and killing our leaders, and doing a lot of stuff, and basically making sure that our leaders fight and stuff like that to destroy the movement. And now, since that's not happening, calm down. What you do is you get certain types of black celebrities and people coming out, and they basically will then water down the ideas and try to put the everybody together in a sense. A lot of black celebrities are not saying what Ice Cube is saying, and he's been attacked because of it. Okay, a lot of other black celebrities think that we're just going to then have money just grow out of trees. And if you want us to come to your comedy show, D.L. Hughley, or you want us to watch a film that Vivica Fox is doing, by year 2053, if the wealth gap is not closed, then we're not going to basically be able to finance go and see anything. And that's what I'm going to be talking about with Tyler Perry here in just a moment. So you got to understand that. Now, that's the reason why I said that his conversation with Antonio Mora was more productive than all of the conversation that he had. Now, Willie D did speak with him, and Willie D kept talking about his music. No, this is not the time to be talking about if he's coming out with another mixtape or another Hollywood film. You see, we have people who are interviewing him, and they're basically asking the wrong questions here. We have to start talking and asking questions of policy and not asking the foolish questions about the person's artistry. Here is what we have to do here, ladies and gentlemen, because it was Ice Cube who did take this, but he did take that movie from the Grassroots. But even though the Grassroots gave him permission, we got to also understand that we still have to be taken. We have to basically have Cube, if he's serious, to go into the neighborhood and everybody come together and talk strategy. And we have to stop promoting all of the stuff that we do. That's the reason why it gives a chance for the white media to dissect it, to lie, to basically bring in their Russian box, their Trojan horses, their their black flunkies and these Negroes who's been out carrying water for white supremacy. It gives them enough time to plan. Okay? And that's something that we don't need. We don't need to basically have a plan, and then before we get everything done, we go and advertising it, and here come all the criticism. And this happens a lot. This happens a lot because we are out there and we're not basically looking at what is going on as far as people getting inside the conversation. Now, remember, this started on a grassroots level when we were out there knocking down CNN and flipping over police cars. And the white media, they basically wanted to now take over the conversation, and that is an issue here. On social media, the black media, we were talking about strategy because we were saying that we won't go to the polls and vote if they did not want to basically talk with us about our tangible vote. And so, yes, the grassroots did meet with Ice Cube and let that be known so he can go back and tell the powers that be that this is what we're talking about on a grassroots level. You did? And that's exactly what we have to start focusing on. Now, again, my book, Foolish American Politics, is out in stores. Go ahead and pick it up. We're basically working on changing the description on the eBay and on all the other Walmart and all these other sites. So don't basically call me up. And I already know about that. Number to call is 516-418. I'm sorry, 418-5867, 516-418-5867. Where's my... All right, we're going to be talking still about policy on the Lawyer Henderson Show. Still talking about policy. All right, so now we're back. So, like I said, these celebrities, so we had the pastors do it. We had all of the five black aristocracy keep us down. And for 426 plus years after slavery, black people is still at the same amount of money that we have always gotten. That's not 1% of the world economy, like Dr. Claude Anderson points out. So that's only about $1.1 trillion a year. And we only spend a nickel within the black community, maybe 10 cents, but still yet that's not enough. And so this is the reason why Ice Cube is out there with his contract on Black America, but it's not just having a person to go to the white press and to go to the Democrats and the Republicans and white people in general and say that we need more money and finances in the hood and in the black community. But it's also about what institutions that we can form and providing and getting that money into the right hands so that we can basically make sure that we begin to close the wealth gap. But we cannot be putting it into the hands of black folks who want to go and spend it on some rims and gold Daytons. We got to make sure that the people who are getting this $500 billion Trump is talking about is people who have business mindset, and these folks focusing on what is the issues here so we can close the wealth gap. Because like I told you, what I've been stressing to you, Black enterprise is right. By 2053, we will be a permanent poor, impoverished community. We've already lost a lot of wealth under Obama. And so the ideal is that we can no longer continue to survive on 5 cents for every consumer dollar that we spend only in the black community, while 95 cents go out to the white community or others. That is dumb. That's the reason why your kids are out in the streets upset and mad. Okay? Somebody talk black to me. All right. Now, let's go here moreover into his contract and whatever also what they asked him here. Okay. Okay. Now, see, and that is the problem with going on to certain types of shows. Now, you just hear Harvey Levin say, "Oh, we just, partner with vote.org and all that." Okay, on the grassroots, we're saying that the elections right now, as it relates to us who are on code, who are the foundational Black Americans or ADOS, is that the system right now is illegitimate. There's no reason to go out and vote. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you go to the white media. The white media is going to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's that old saying about, all right, so we're not getting anything in exchange for our vote, so why go register? Okay, so that was already off code. Okay, so that's why I was trying to get to the DL Hughley situation. If you're gonna criticize Ice Cube, criticize him on the right things. Okay, don't criticize him on the wrong things. Criticize him on the right things. You see, you just can't bring your contract to everybody. You can't publicize it to everybody. You just got to do it. You can't. And the ideal here is that, like I said, they're talking about go out and vote and register and all that old stuff right there. No, we're staying away from the poll because we have not gotten no promises made to us. And if we don't change our situation, you'll see by the year 2053, we will not have no wealth at all as Black folks. Okay? And so that's the reason why we are talking about this right now, folks. 516-418-5867. 516-418-5867. We're also on YouTube. Check us out up on YouTube. This will go to YouTube as well. Let's see. This will also go on YouTube as well. Now, I had it. Hold on, folks. Get this out here. Okay, aha. All right. So yeah, that's the dangerous about having celebrity and pastors and civil rights people and other people speaking for you because they're not going to basically tell, the government and the politicians what is necessary for the Black community. That's the reason why we have always been held back because we have allowed people to talk for us who are not talking real policy. That's something that was very important that Antonio Moore expressed, and I like that kind of expression that he gave here. All right, so let's get to our main topic of the day. Now, I might get criticized. I might have a backlash myself for talking about this, but I am basically talking about Tyler Perry right now. And back in July, we was trying to cover this story before all of this other stuff got into the way and we start live streaming and stuff like that and start having to talk about the hot topics before this came out. But back in July, Tyler Perry donates grocery store gift cards to Atlanta people in need. And this was at the time where we were basically out in the streets. We were turned up. We were flipping over police cars. And he donated and he told, he gave he paid like $50 for gift cards, which I think he got like 1,000 or something like that, and gave it to the Atlanta police and told them to pass it out to people in need. Okay. Let's read this article and let's talk about this. Okay. Tyler, first, the whole thing it says, Tyler Perry donates grocery store gift cards to Atlanta people in need. Okay. Tyler Perry is giving back to his adopted city of Atlanta. The actor and director gifted $1,050 gift cards to people in need on Thursday morning. A spokesman for Perry said the Atlanta Police Department handed out the Kroger gift cards. This is about the community that I love, that I live and work in. This is about a good. It's about good people who are in need of a hand up, not a hand out. This is about a good police officers who do their job well every day. Some of which are my personal friends. Perry said in the statement. This is about trying to bridge the unity in city that adopted me and held me up high enough to reach my own branch on a tree of success. I love Atlanta and its people. Okay, that's end quote. Now, there's a problem with that. This is the reason why I'm calling Tyler Perry out on this one. And we were supposed to call him out on this anyway. Okay, they saying it's only got 23 seconds to be on Instagram. So okay, so you people on Instagram, you have to come to my YouTube channel if you can, and you'll be able to listen to me there. Okay, so that's what Instagram is saying. But anyway, my first thing about this particular situation is that Tyler Perry got to understand, like any other, black celebrity has to understand, is that why is people saying that black folks is asking for a handout? White people all the time go to their congressmen, go to their senators, go to the state capitals and lobby for handouts. It's not just black folks that ask for something in return for their vote. This is the issue. This is the problem with black celebrity. They basically think that just because black folks are asking for something, it's a handout. No, your government is always supposed to help you out because this is how white people get money. Just like, for instance, these loans that were handed out to most white people and white business leaders. Okay, but yet when black folks ask for something, stop asking for a handout. And see, the problem with this is that Tyler Perry, even though, yes, he helped a lot of black actors and gave them jobs or whatever, but he's doing the same thing that we see black celebrity do all the time, and that's just to give us food baskets and turkeys like the black church and think that's supposed to satisfy us for months. That is the issue here. These $50 gift cards for one family is nothing. It's don't even pay for everybody's groceries. And so therefore, all of this, press about basically you handing gift cards out to this person, that family. Folks, okay, Tyler Perry, if you're going to hand out $50 gift cards, why are you donating money directly to Joel Epstein or Epstein or whatever his name is, Joel Epstein's church? You gave money directly to him, Tyler Perry. You also, why did Epstein get $100,000 to his church, which he's going to use, but the black community, we basically we can't ask for handouts, but we'll give you charity, but we'll give you $50 worth of food or gift cards for Kroger. This is basically what I'm talking about. This is what Dr. Claude Anderson talks about when he talks about inappropriate behavior. No, we need you to donate $100,000 so that we can have a Black institute that deals with our issues in the community. Because pretty soon, Black people are not going to have the money to go and watch none of your Medea films no more. And if we don't have the money to basically, watch your movies, because we are trying to get our wealth up, Tyler Perry, then that means that, what I'm saying, you won't be able to make no more money. Okay, this is insulting to us in the Black community. Handing out gift cards from Kroger's and then allowing police officers who abuse us to hand them out. I mean, come on. You gave 100,000. You gave some money to Joy Osteen, and basically his church, And white people are able to pocket that money. And then Tyler Perry, you go on to give you donate $100,000 back in is it 2013 to a school. Let's see. Yeah, you gave. It says actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry donated 100,000 to an Ohio school district to help fund their athletic program and after-school clubs. Perry was moved to donate the money after he saw a television report about the school's troubled financial situation. Funding was cut to the school's program after voters failed to pass a tax in 2009. The program was eventually brought back, but a cost to the students, many of whom couldn't afford it. Okay, so you have Tyler Perry going to a major white school district and giving them $100,000 to save their program. Meanwhile, he has not helped one black filmmaker and invest in him so they can produce other actors and create writers and producers. It's all about him. Okay, we have to understand that black celebrity is the problem, is the cause. It's the same with the religious community, giving out turkeys and giving out food baskets and thinking that that's helping the black community. And I told you and I warned you that black folks need more than just Thanksgiving baskets and Kroger cards. We have to be able to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that our plight is serious, because by 2053 we are going to be basically brought back into just being impoverished. This COVID-19 has done a lot of damage, and it's going to also get basically more damning when we see that we're not going to have the wealth that we need in the black community. And like I said earlier, we're not going to have no money to go and rent out no or buy or purchase no Medea movies if the current situation that we are in keep on being the situation. Black people are out here losing their jobs. What is a $50 gift card going to do? What we have to understand is that Tyler Perry, and I understand he's a great man. He gave a lot of money out. He donates here and there. But when it's white folks, he basically give money directly to white people or their program. He don't go and say, "Hey, here is some Kroger gift cards." That's insulting. What we need is $100,000 or $500,000, and so that we can basically build up institutions in the black community. Okay, Ice Cube the same way. He's sitting on $100 million. Why are not they not investing their own money into the black community so that black people who are on a grassroots level could basically talk about how any other money that comes into the community is supposed to be allocated and bring in black minds together, business and finance investors and people in the black community, and not just watch our communities get gentrified, and then you get foreign people over here, and then you have a police department that comes from another country and is in there patrolling the black community. And this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. It goes on to say in an article that filmmaker and actor Tyler Perry surprised middle school students in Ohio by showing up at an assembly and donating $100,000 to help fund after-school activities in the city's southwestern schools. Perry was drawn to Finland Middle School after seeing an HBO segment about teacher Mary Mulvaney, who started a foundation to raise scholarship money for athletes in extracurricular activities. The Ohio School District received national attention last year when their funding was cut after voters failed to pass a tax in 2009. Okay. The levy was later passed, but after the school activities were only brought back at the pay to participate fee. which many of the district families could not afford, local ABC News Channel 6 reports. In response to the FISA crisis, Mulvaney started the Success Beyond the Classroom Foundation, which raised scholarship funds to cover fees of up to $500 per families. And see, in the Black community, of course, we have all of these textbooks that have been chewed on, and Tyler Perry has not donated to these schools in the Black community. Perry, who is best known for his playing Medea, a sassy, strong-willed grandmother, tried to inspire hope into the assembly group of middle schoolers. He told the exciting students and the staff that he was moved by their plight and wants to give opportunities to as many students as he can. Now, here's the thing about this issue. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you basically you hire Black actors. I get that. Okay. But when we're talking about policy, when we're talking about community, okay, don't insult us with a $50 gift card. Okay. If Tyler would basically, like I said, finance one Black movie, one Black filmmaker, and then that filmmaker finance another one, he could have a studio like Warner Brothers, Paramount, Lionsgate. His distribution arm is right there. But he and Spike Lee and others, they basically have one production companies and no other filmmakers helping. Tyler Perry is the one of the only one. Well, he's the only one that has a studio like Warner Brothers, and he has not yet invested in one Black filmmaker. But yet he will go out and give $100,000 of gift cards, thinking that charity and basically buying people some Kroger food is going to be enough for the Black community. That's insulting. We would like to see $100,000 go and invest in institutions that is going to help us build a store, or to help us build an institution so that we can talk about our problems. These white school districts do not need the money. Black people need the money. And it's very insulting that we basically have celebrity who is doing what, like I said, Dr. Claude Anderson says, engaging in all kinds of inappropriate behavior. Now, yeah, I understand that a man can do whatever he wants with his money, but if you're going to invest in the Black community, don't give it to these pastors like he did as well, like T.D. Jakes. I think he gave T.D. Jakes $1 million. Folks, we got to get serious about our issue. T.D. Jakes is not going to do nothing for the Black community. We got to understand that. Okay, yes, Black celebrities are looked up on to the power structure. Hey, you better not be giving no money to the Black neighborhoods. That's the reason why Oprah cannot do anything for us. And she's set with $2 billion. She has enough to give each Black person $1 million in this particular country, and still yet she'll still be a billionaire. What we have to understand that Black celebrity is a part of the problem when we talk about our plight in the Black community. D.L. Hughley is also a problem as well, because now that he cannot do none of his no movies or no stand-up comments, he wants to go out of a rapper who got street credit, whose life, of course, is based upon being a boy and being a boy in the hood. And that's the type of thing that the white media likes. They like to trot out these types of Black celebrities because they know that these are the ones who are going to criticize, but yet they don't have policy on their side. Now, we're going to go in and talk more about this, hopefully, next week. But I just wanted to talk to y'all about how important that we keep Black celebrity out of our demands on a grassroots effort. You dig? So a contract with Black America is the focus point, but we have to also understand that we have to stop allowing Black celebrity to just, just insult us, man, by giving us food baskets. Black celebrity has to be more than just give us a food basket. They have to start investing their monies into the black community to help us build. Okay, we don't have like a little Chinatown. We don't have Mexican restaurants and Mark and superstores. And that's what Tyler Perry and Ice Cube also should be focusing on. And not thinking that just a $50 gift card is going to do something. Black celebrity has to be held responsible, just like these politicians. And that is important for us to start to say when we are in the media. Anytime that we're in the media, that has to be said. Okay? It has to be said. And I am going to be the one to push the narrative. I got to be the one to push the narrative because black celebrity is not going to push it. Okay? Now, I understand that Ice Cube is out there. He's pushing hard. He's going to fight. I'm glad that he's done that. I'm glad he's fighting for us. At the same time, black celebrities has to check in with the grassroots because, like Antonio Moore said, we are all about policy here. Nobody is more about policy than the grassroots. And we understand what the black community needs in order for those investments to get into the right hands of people. And that's the reason why it's important for Tyler Perry and other people to understand about what we are needing in the black community. And so this kind of thing about allowing the Atlanta police, who basically have been killing us, who's been beating us and stuff like that, who has been out of things to black men specifically in the black community. And so he also it's another article on MSN. I know we're short on time, but let's just read this as well. It says that Tyler Perry is continuing to give back to his community. A 50-year-old entertainer gave residents of Atlanta $50 gift cards to Kroger to help out amid the coronavirus pandemic. Members of the Atlanta Police Department personally handed out Perry's 1,000 gift cards to his residents. This is about community. Yeah, so this is a huge problem. Okay, we give real life money to white folks, but we give black people gift cards. And then you have D.L. Hughley out here who basically is trying to get people to tune in to his podcast and not want to talk about policy and also want to strategize with Ice Cube's contract on Black America. And Black celebrity is the problem with that. You see, the religious people came in and did us, and the civil rights people came in and did the same thing. And so now the white power structure is using the black celebrity to destroy our movement on the grassroots level. And that's the problem. That's the issue, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what I want to talk about today on the Lawyer Henderson Show. You dig? Don't forget to purchase my book, Foolish American Politics. Let's discuss the issues. 516-418-5867 is the number. We've got about a few minutes, and I wanted to do something here because I wanted to go into depth about this here before we go off air. Okay. About, hold on for a minute. Tyler Perry and Oprah, they can do a lot more. They can do more than what they've been doing. Okay, hold on, just bear with me, people here. Bear with me. Okay. And don't forget to join me tomorrow. We'll be on tomorrow. We'll be talking about. We'll be also talking about pro se plaintiff representing yourself in court. Here's another piece. Tyler Perry give 1 million to Hurricane Harvey relief, including I forget. Oh, I hate the Washington Post, including $250 to Joy Osteen Church. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we're talking about here. Okay, so Joy Osteen gets $250,000 in donations because at first, remember, Joy Osteen didn't want nobody in his church. He didn't want to open up his church, and basically, he basically Tyler Perry stepped in to defend Joy Osteen when he did not want to open his church up to let people in during Hurricane Harvey. You see, so all religious people, religious leaders are not real religious leaders. They're all about money, a lot of them. Then finally, we'll talk about when Tyler, excuse me, Tyler Perry. Let's see. Okay, hold on, folks. There was something that Tyler Perry also did. Okay, so from giving money um, to to pastors and to schools and stuff like that, that's inappropriate behavior because the people who need um, the the money is the people in the community, and it's basically a foolish ideal here that every time that Tyler Perry gives money out, it's a press release. Finally, it says here on cheat sheet that Tyler Perry leaves 21,000 tip to restaurant workers affected by a coronavirus shutdown, has history of charity donations. Tyler Perry is the latest celebrity to step up and contribute to those in needs impacted by the corona lockdown, with so many essential businesses currently closed and forcing employees out of work. Perry surprised the staff of one of his favorite restaurants with a huge tip. The gracious act of the latest of his kindness of the television mogul who has already been dedicated to helping others. TMZ reported that Perry left a hefty tip to one of his favorite restaurants, according to the outlet. Perry has been visiting the Atlanta restaurant Houston's for takeout over the last week. The restaurant prides itself on meals made daily from scratch. Their menu featured American classics such as burgers, salads, and sandwiches. Okay. Now, $21 is not a lot of money. Of course, $1,000 is not a lot of money. It's basically that we're trying to get black celebrity. See, this is no different than the rappers who go and throw up money in the air in the club. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is inappropriate behavior. You see what I'm saying? And one of his favorite restaurants, okay, is you know, it's basically. Let me see where his restaurant. See, it's in the white neighborhood. Houston's is in the white community on Peachtree, on West Pacey Ferry. Okay, so it's like, come on. White people, he gives money to directly in their hands or into their churches. Black folks, well, let me go give you a gift card or let me buy you groceries. I mean, this is an insult. The rappers do the same thing. Let's just go and throw some money in the air. Okay, we got to put money into institutions, into building, or we cannot close the wealth gap. This is what Claude Anderson calls inappropriate behavior. And like I said, Yes, a man or a woman can do anything with their money, but I'm just saying we are doing a lot of things that's putting us back into slavery. Okay? Join me tomorrow, same time, same location. I'm going to be on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube. This has been the Lawyer Henderson Show. Thanks for listening.